Unless you've been like living under a rock for the past 2 weeks, you've probably seen or heard of Hero Forge's current Kickstarter, where they are debuting custom print-on-demand full color 3D printed miniatures. It's absolutely nuts. And I managed to get them to send me an actual physical prototype to look at. Hey guys, welcome back to Blackmagic Craft. First of all, my apologies if I sound a bit like arse because I am just fighting off strep throat and I would love to wait until I'm a bit better to shoot this video, but this is time sensitive. I've been really excitedly waiting for this package to arrive and I do not want to delay it. Also, this is not going to replace this week's video. This is a bonus video. Regular build video is coming on Friday. So Hero Forge launches this crazy Kickstarter a couple of weeks ago for full color 3D printed miniatures on demand. And it was quite a buzz around the old interwebs. And looking at those pictures on the Kickstarter, it's pretty exciting, but pictures are one thing. So I reached out to them and I asked them if they could send me a prototype to actually look at in person and show you guys. And they were nice enough to oblige. So thank you, Hero Forge, for doing that and making this possible. There's not a lot of these in the world. I think maybe 3 or 4 people got their hands on them. Now, just in case you have been living under a rock, let me tell you a little bit about the Kickstarter. I'm not going to go into too much detail because you can do that for yourself. Check out the link in the description below. But essentially, they are updating their interface of where you can design your own minis and get them printed on demand. They're adding a whole butt ton of new elements and assets. But the crazy thing is that they've found a way to make them full color. So there's actually an interface where you can paint everything in tons of different colors and textures and like mental stuff like tattoos and animal prints and scars and like makeup. It's insane. We're not talking about like 4 colors on a mini. We're talking about a lot of colors on a mini, gradients. It's crazy. I don't understand the technology. It's really nuts. The Kickstarter also has like bonus stuff for people who aren't interested in actually ordering some of these printed color minis. For example, you can design your characters in their designer and then download the digital assets and tokens to use in virtual tabletops, which is pretty neat. They are also offering a fully professionally painted version. So you design the model, you pick all the colors, and a professional mini painter actually paints it to meet what you've designed. And I'm not going to be showing that here. I don't think they would have sent me one of those. That's cool. It's not as interesting because really that's just commissioned painting through a big service. It's nice that they're offering it, but the crazy 3D printed, how do they do this? Okay, go check it out after. I just want to open this up. This is a big-ish box, but I'm guessing there's only going to be one mini in here. I don't know which mini it actually is, but I'm guessing it's one of the ones that's shown on the Kickstarter because this is probably one of the prototypes that they made for that. Oh, it looks like it is the actual premiere one. Oh, this is exciting. Hold on. There is nothing else in here. I'm really excited about this. This is the miniature that has been their #1 shown one in their promo material. So that's pretty cool that this is the one they sent me. Where do I start with this? The first thing I notice is that there are a lot of colors in here. It's not like 4 or 5 colors. There's far more, maybe 20 or something. There's actually gradients. Now, I saw this in the renders and the photographs, but you never know until you actually see it. This is amazing. It gradients from purple into a kind of pinkish red and then into an orange. And the wings, they're not just one color. They have yellow tips with orange. It almost looks like a wash. Same with the fire. You can see there's a lot of variety in this color. It is not just blocky layer line color. And actually, speaking of layer lines, there are not a lot of layer lines on this mini. There is a tiny bit of like, I guess you would call it fuzziness, almost like there's a little bit of dust on it. And I think it has to do with the dissolvable supports material that they mentioned. The way they're printing these, apparently it's a support material that dissolves so it doesn't leave any little scars or pimples like normal resin printing or other printing does. So maybe that has something to do with that. So you can obviously tell by the bottom of this thing that it is 3D printed. There's some layer lines here, but everywhere else on the model looks pretty darn clean. I'm really impressed with the gradients. Just like, look at the fur on this fox. It goes from orange into a white with black little feet. I don't know how these are being printed exactly, but it's very, very impressive. And this is nicer than I thought they would be, to be honest. To a skilled mini painter, this color scheme does probably not look that great. It looks like a very rudimentary paint job. But to somebody who struggles with painting, I mean, I would have a hard time painting the fox that well. And I'm sure a lot of people would, especially the kind of people that would be looking to get hero figures for role-playing games. When I looked at some of the photos on the Kickstarter, one thing I noticed was that this plastic material seemed really glossy, and I was kind of concerned about that. I thought it looked way too shiny, but this one in real life in person is not very glossy at all. It's matte. I actually thought that they would need like a matte clear coat or something once you got them, but looking at this one, that is definitely not the case. She even has makeup, like green eyeshadow, earrings that are colored. There's so many different colors here. And like the base looks like it has a wash on it. This technology is absolutely incredible. I don't even want to think about what the machine that they're using to print these costs. It's unreal. And even some of the people I've talked to that are way more involved in 3D printing than I am and know way more about it are pretty shocked that they're able to pull this off. It's almost scary to think where this technology is going to be taking us in a few years. Like, are we going to hit a point where you can print stuff like this at home on a consumer grade printer? I don't know, maybe in 10 years. Like, this is crazy. Now, the big question, of course, is the price. And the Kickstarter pricing, one of these minis, something like this, which doesn't seem to have any restrictions on size and accents and colors, is $39 USD. That may seem kind of expensive to some people, but when you consider what a lot of the pre-painted D&D minis go for out of the package, it's not that bad. And this, again, is for fully custom, whatever you want, unique minis. $39 versus the $30 price of their premium unpainted plastic. It's $9 to get this in full color. To me, that is an absolutely crazy good price. It's very good. I don't care what you say. That's a good price if you consider the time to paint something. Like, you're not gonna do a $9 paint job that looks this good. I don't think, maybe some people can, but I think that pricing is really fair. They also have group pricing, so you can get 2 for $75. That makes it cheaper. Obviously, the retail pricing is probably gonna be a little bit more than the Kickstarter. They're making it more competitive to hype it up and get more kickstarting backing and whatnot. But from what they've told me, the retail pricing will still be very competitive and reasonable, but I don't know what that is. If you are not interested in getting these printed, but you want to take advantage of all the new assets they have and print at home, this Kickstarter still has something for you. They actually have bundle pricing for STL files. I think it was like 10 STL files for $50. So $5 per file, which is cheaper than they currently offer on their system right now. So that's a good deal you can take advantage of. The other neat thing is that even if you don't want to print these in color, you just want to do it yourself, you'll still be able to utilize that color tool because you can paint all your stuff up and use it as a painting guide that is a reference. You could try out different color scheme. Wow. I don't actually know if the interface will be open to the public fully like it is right now, but man, it's gonna be such a valuable tool for trying out color schemes before you paint. Oh, and if you wanna like dive deep and go really crazy, they have some nuts bundles for like hundreds of minis at competitive pricing, but I don't think there's too many people out there that are gonna do that, but you could. Now, what I've been wondering about is the durability of these. When they sent this, they specifically asked me not to throw it across the room and do the drop test like I did on their normal minis, because this prototype, they said isn't quite as durable as the actual ones that will be shipped out in fulfillment. There are still some things that they've worked out and improved since then. This is just a prototype. Honestly, from feeling this plastic, it's got a little bit of flex in it. I'm pretty sure I could do a drop test and it would be fine. This doesn't feel like it's gonna explode or shatter. They told me not to drop it. Okay, I'm not gonna drop it on the floor. I feel like it would be fine if I did, but since it's not something I'm gonna paint, it might be hard to fix it if it does break. So I'll just say that I believe these are gonna be plenty durable for gaming. I'm not worried whatsoever. I feel like there's so much more that I should be saying or looking at, but I'm just kind of at a loss here. I thought I could be more critical of these. I was expecting them to be a little bit disappointing. It's such a fascinating and cool idea, but surely it's not gonna live up to how it looks in renders. But I gotta say it does. It exceeds my expectation. However, I had realistic expectations. I didn't think that this would look as good as a professionally painted Mini. That's just not reasonable yet. But this absolutely looks infinitely better than a pre-painted Mini that a lot of companies offer. Way better. Like not even close. I was also worried that it would look really toy-like, and I guess to some degree it sort of does, but there's enough gradients and shading that it doesn't quite look like a kid's toy. It actually does look like something that is meant for tabletop role-playing. Maybe, well, definitely not something that's to the standard of like a lot of wargaming, but for D&D, Pathfinder, all that sort of stuff, man, this is perfect. I'm totally impressed with this. The technology is amazing. The color looks good. The interface is great. All the things they're unlocking with stretch goals to add to their system, all the neat little details. Like, it's coming down to like you can pose the hands and the fingers and do tattoos and scars. And Hero Forge, you did a good job. You did a good job. My only worry is that your Kickstarter is doing very, very well, and you're gonna have a lot of minis to print and fulfill. So obviously there's some concern about fulfilling in the time that they're promising, like there always is with any Kickstarter. But Hero Forge is a reputable company. This is not their first rodeo. They've been doing this a long time. I fully believe and trust that they have the capability to fulfill these orders. I don't think they would have launched this like this if they didn't. And the machines and the companies that they're using to print these, I think, are more than capable of fulfillment. But I don't know for sure. There's always a risk. Well, I would certainly back this without hesitation. So let me know what you guys think of these in the comments section below. If you like this video, hit the like button. Of course, if you want to pick up some tools and supplies to paint your own minis because you don't want to, use this service, check out blackmagiccraft.ca. There I have my essential equipment page with all the stuff that I use and recommend and links and explanations and all that good stuff. Also, if you enjoy these videos that I make and you want to help me keep making them and become part of the Blackmagic Craft community, you can do so by supporting the channel on Patreon. I'd love to have you as the newest member of the Blackmagic Craft Fellowship. And lastly, I want to say thanks again to Hero Forge for hooking me up with this prototype. This is very exciting. I get a lot of companies asking me if they can send me stuff. It's rare that I reach out to them because I'm so excited by something. And this is one of those cases where I just had to have it, and I feel very honored to have one of these select few prototypes in my hand, and I'm glad that I was able to share it with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. That's it, guys. I will see you again on Friday for the next build video. Cheers.